Did you see the story over the weekend that the University of Pennsylvania nominated Leah Thomas for a Woman of the Year award? Now, Leah Thomas was formerly named Will Thomas and was a swimmer on the University of Pennsylvania men's team. And people say, oh, you can't dead name. And I don't even know what that concept means. But to me, you can't explain the athletic ability of Leah Thomas without acknowledging that initially Leah Thomas was William Thomas. And Will Thomas, swam on the University of Pennsylvania men's team. Decent swimmer, right? If you make a college swim team, you have to be a very talented swimmer. Big guy, strong guy. Swam on the University of Pennsylvania men's team. Then decided he was going to become a woman and transitioned and decided that now that he was a woman, he was going to swim on the women's team. And not surprisingly, because men are bigger, stronger, and faster than women, a male college swimmer who decided to identify as a women's college swimmer became an incredibly successful women's college swimmer. And so Will Thomas transitioned to Leah Thomas and never won men's swimming awards, but then did become an incredible women's swimmer, winning the 500 over this past year. And so the University of Pennsylvania has now nominated him for Woman of the Year. And so I got to give credit here. So I think this is crazy, okay? let me be straightforward and clear. If you are over 18 years old, you are an adult, and you decide that you would rather be a woman than a man or a man than a woman, I don't particularly care. I want you to be able to be as happy as you can be. If that makes sense, that's fine. But I'm not willing to take the next step, which is, and therefore, even though I was biologically a man and benefited from testosterone and am as a result bigger, stronger, and faster than women, I don't think you should suddenly be able to compete against women because you identify suddenly as a woman. Most women agree with me. Most men agree with me. Very few current female athletes will speak out because they are afraid that they're going to get targeted. And look, most women don't have a chance to make a living as a professional athlete. So they have to go on and get a job. They have to go on to grad school and continue their education. And so women are afraid, and men, but certainly women who are athletes, are afraid that they're going to be considered transphobic. So I understand people out there who say, oh, all these women should refuse to compete against this man. This is ridiculous and all these things. I understand that's relatively easy to say when you aren't risking your own future over this. Well, Riley Gaines, credit to her, University of Kentucky women's swimmer, when I tweeted this out, she responded and said, and her photo was alongside of Leah Thomas. She said, being the real girl in that photo, and also University of Kentucky's nominee for NCAA Woman of the Year. I'm reading from her tweets. This is yet another slap in the face to women. First, a female national title, and now nominated for the Pinnacle Award in collegiate athletics. The NCAA has made this award worthless. This award, and I'm reading from Riley Gaines, University of Kentucky women's swimmer, who is going to be on with us Wednesday on the Clay and Buck Show. This award combines athletic performance with academics, service, and character. What character has Thomas shown other than sheer selfishness and entitlement? The disrespect and disregard for the other female athletes in Thomas's interviews is eye-opening. Bravo, Riley Gaines. You cannot allow men to take over women's athletics. And that is exactly what they are going to do if you allow people to choose to identify as whatever gender they are and suddenly decide to parachute into women's athletics. And people say, why do you care? Right? That's the question you get a lot. Why do you care? Because I come from the world of sports, which is about the best man or woman winning. It isn't about the best man who identifies as woman winning. The reason why we separate men's and women's athletics is because men are bigger, stronger, and faster than women. And if we allow men to decide to identify as women, then men are going to become the greatest women's athletes of all time. The fact that the University of Pennsylvania is nominating a man, a biological man, as the women's athlete of the year is an insult to women's athletics. And everyone with a functional brain knows this. We don't allow people to decide to change their age to compete. Imagine if I said, hey, I know I'm a 43-year-old man, but I feel like I am a 13-year-old girl. I would be the greatest 13-year-old girls basketball player to ever exist. I really do think that. Hate to brag and draw attention to myself, but I think I would be the greatest 7th grade girls basketball player of all time. I think that I would be unstoppable if I decided that I was trans age and I wanted to go back to 7th grade. I would wreck. I would wreck every 7th grade girl in the country in basketball right now. And I have to get in shape. But I would average like 60 points a game. I would average like 34 rebounds a game. I would be the greatest 7th grade girls basketball player you have ever seen if I were trans age. And every single one of you right now is listening and you're like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, because I'm a grown-ass man. And when you are a grown-ass man, you don't get to identify as a woman. And you also don't get to identify as whatever age you want to be. You can't be trans age. I can't be a trans 7th grader. I can't change my race. Why would you allow me to just change my gender? It makes no sense. It destroys all athletic competition. That's why I care. Why do you care? Why do you even care? If you just want to change your gender and it doesn't change any competition, I'm fine. Guess what? You know what's not a story in athletics? Women who decide to identify as men. Do you know why? Because they aren't any good at athletics. Because women are not bigger, stronger, and faster than men. As a group. There are some women that are bigger, stronger, and faster than me. As a group, there aren't very many. Okay? So, if a woman decides to identify as a man, it doesn't impact athletics at all. To my knowledge, there is no woman identifying as a man who is going in and dominating male athletics. That's because this only becomes an issue when a man decides to identify as a woman. So I give credit to Riley Gaines for speaking out against it. And I think we're to the point now where the only way to address this is by pointing out how absurd it is using hyperbole, which is what I just did. Satire is one of the last defenses against what is the Democrat woke waterfall of absurdity.